Hi there, welcome. If this is your first time at the Old Guy Rules, don't forget to subscribe, like us, set your notifications and share us with your friends. This is a film that we shot the footage for before the lockdown situation from the coronavirus in 2020. I hope you enjoy. Hi there, it's 7:15 a.m. The sun has just started to rise. I'm on a supermarket car park because today we're going to be doing something a little bit extraordinary. Welcome to the Old Guy Rules. So here we are in Tomino, and this is the start point for our walk up to the eye. So here we are at the church in Tomino, and this is the starting point for the route that's going to take us up to the eye. As you walk along the trail, you will come across these, and these are the prickly pear. And if you look closely, you see all the white crustaceans. These are actually the shell casings of the cochineal beetle. Now, cochineal was once a major export industry for Tenerife, and if I take one of these and crush it, such, you'll see that it's pure blood red, and that is the cochineal dye that was one of Tenerife's major exports, and you'll find them on the backside of all of the prickly pear plants. Now, as you can see, the higher you get up this mountain, the more rugged the terrain becomes. And believe me, this was just the start of what was to come. It may look fairly smooth and okay, but on the scale of things, this is quite tame. Now, I'm not a walker. I'm certainly not a hiker. And this is the first time I've ever done anything like this. So, my recommendations to you are make sure you keep your eyes downwards, because the terrain is a little bit uneasy, hence the fact that I'm not always looking at you. But we're now starting our ascent into the mountains, headed eventually, hopefully, towards the eye. There are a multitude of different rock formations on this mountain, and if you're a geologist, this is the perfect place to observe them. And of course, the higher you go, the more panoramic and beautiful the views become. However, it is strenuous, and even at these low levels I was completely out of breath. As you can see, the terrain becomes almost impossible in places. This is not a trek for the faint-hearted, and these are still low levels on the mountain. Below us you can see the town of Tomaimo in its entirety. It is really quite a stunning sight from this height. The higher you ascend the mountain, the more difficult this particular route becomes. It ceases to be a hike and becomes more of a scramble. But you have to be incredibly careful, because at any moment, one false move could send you careering down an almost sheer drop as you traverse the paths. Now, I chose not to bring any fancy cameras with me on this particular hike. I just took my mobile phone, and all of the footage was taken using my phone. So if you're on the mountain and you want to take some stunning photos or videos, you won't need anything else. Remember, travel light. Of course, there are parts of the trek that smooth out and become more passable. They are few and far between, but they are a welcome respite from the rocky approach. The journey was in part very windy, and the wind varied from absolute calmness to almost a breeze and even as strong as a light gale. This was our first port of call. It's the White Cross, and we had decided to stop here for our first rest break. As we rested, it was a great opportunity for us to sit and take in the absolutely breathtaking views that these majestic mountains have to offer. So, with our rest break over, it was time to continue with our quest, to try to get to the eye. And as you can see, the second part was no easier than the first. As you reach the crest of the mountain, things do become a little easier. The terrain levels out, it's much easier to walk along, and the views from the other side of the mountain, of the northwesterly side of the island, are absolutely unbelievable. It's like the west coast of Tenerife is laid out before you. Right guys, this is just over halfway. And I have to tell you, For a 60-year-old man with zero fitness levels, this has been one of the hardest things I've ever done. If you're thinking of trying this, make sure you're prepared for what's to come. Would I say it was a medium walk? No, it's much, much harder than a medium walk. However, I think when I get to the destination, to the goal, the eye that is, it'll all be worth it. I started off wearing a nice big warm jacket. As we stand now, I'm stripped down to my t-shirt. I'm so pleased that I have some good walking shoes on though. I reckon we're about half hour away from our goal. So I'm looking forward to a sit down, a bottle of water, and maybe a little snack. I will say one thing though, the reward for all the pain and torture that I've put myself through this morning are the absolutely stunning views. I will post some of the photographs. It's just worth it to take a look at Tenerife from a different perspective. I would actually say that if you've got any underlying health problems, or if you have vertigo, or you're a little bit unsure of foot, this is definitely not a walk for you. I think you have to have at least a decent level of fitness to even attempt this. It's quite interesting because when you're going uphill, the heels of your feet naturally fall back to the heels of your shoes. But when you're going downhill, it's completely the opposite, and it does tell on your toes, particularly your big toes, as they stub into the front of your shoes. If you do this walk, travel as a group, at least 2 or 3 of you. It's so unsure underfoot, it would only take one slip and you could be lost up here for ages. Well, that was lucky. I just hit some uneven ground and I went straight down on my backside and landed on my back. This isn't an easy day by any stretch of the imagination. I have to say, overall, I'm quite enjoying my walk in the mountains. However, if I was to do it again, and I probably would, I would be sure to choose a much less challenging route for my second walk. So we've been walking for a half an hour in the wrong direction. Am I pleased? I know I'm kind of miffed actually, but it just shows how easy it is to take a wrong turning. We are on the second ridge over from where the eye is, so it's time to turn round and have another go. Now sadly, our group of the party never made it to the eye. Time restrictions and fatigue meant that we had to turn back. But one of the groups in our party actually achieved the goal. And this is the eye. It is magnificent. The views from this altitude of Los Gigantes and beyond are unparalleled in the Canary Islands. So congratulations to our party that actually made it to the eye. So there it was. That was our trip up the mountain. Many thanks to the people that went with me. I have got a few tips that could be useful to you. First of all, make sure that you do not go alone. Make sure that you're in a party of at least 2 or 3 or more. Nextly, make sure that you've got good shoes on. If you haven't got good shoes on, you will suffer tremendously during the day, so make sure you've got good footwear. Make sure also that you've got plenty of water. Make sure you've got drinks to hydrate yourself during the day, and also take a snack. This one, it's not so obvious. Make sure before you leave that your mobile phone is fully charged, because although you're on a mountain, you never know, you may need that phone to call the emergency services. So just make sure before you leave that your phone is completely charged. I could go on. Make sure that people know where you're going. Don't go without telling someone your route and your estimated return time. The list could be endless, but I think you're a little bit more sensible than that. It has been an absolutely brilliant experience. I would advise anyone to try it. So I'll see you next time on the Old Guy Rules. I've been Eddie Hastings. Don't forget to subscribe, like us, share us, set your notifications, and until the next time, take care.